My name is Scott Seaton. I live in Bourbonnais. I'm here today to talk about my experience with a heart attack 2.5 years ago that was taken care of at Riverside. The day was a pretty normal day. I do home inspections, so I was nothing really weird about it. It was a Sunday, December 10th, 2012. We had had a normal dinner and I was watching the football game. Went to bed about 11 o'clock, and at 1:30 in the morning, almost exactly 1:30, I woke up with this crushing, horrible pain on my shoulder. The pain is so bad, and it's just, I'm like shaking my legs, you just can't stop the pain from hurting. So I'm sitting there on the edge of the bed realizing I'm having a heart attack. So I wake Mary up and I said, call 911.
After I'm realizing what's going on, and just to look at Scott, he had just a grayish color to his whole being. I just kept praying, please don't take him, please don't take him. And I just immediately went into that mode of making sure I'm going to take care of this and not going to think about it, just I'm going to do it. When we got to the hospital, I think that's when I lost it. Just to see him have the pads on him, and I think that was the worst part of it all, because he was so close to not being here.
And for 40 seconds, I was in VTAC, which is like a rhythm of the heart. It's not beating. You're pretty much dead. They gave me one shock, and they gave me a shot of epinephrine, I think it was, and that kick-started sort of the second shock worked. One of the doctors in the emergency room was there, and he said, hey, do you want to see your cardiogram? And I said, sure. So he shows it to me, and he said, you're lucky you're alive. He said, you had like left anterior descending widowmaker heart attack, 5% survival rate. He said, you shouldn't even be here. He says, but it's a miracle you're here, and so glad you're here. Next thing I know, it's like recovery time. I'm out of the operation, and before 3 o'clock, I'm back in the ICU in recovery. So by the time I got in the hospital, it was like 8 minutes later, I had the VTAC. So if we would have lived 5 minutes farther from the hospital, or if the ambulance would have been 5 minutes slower, bad things would have happened.
Once we got to the hospital, I knew that he's in a safe place. Doctors and the nurses would be there to take care of him, and that was just a comfort knowing for myself and for our kids, for everyone involved, that Scott was being taken care of and he was in good hands.
I was born here. We've always gone to the doctor here. It was to know that he was even at this hospital I was like, okay, this is good. I know we're not gonna have any problems or anything. So I could go to work and then just come on my lunch breaks. I could come right after work. It's so close. So it was easy to come and go, and you kind of get to know the different nurses. You're like, hey, I'm back again, hi. And we never had to worry about, okay, is he gonna have to be transferred somewhere? Do we need to bring him up to Chicago or something? It was all here. That's pretty unbelievable too, because not everybody can do that.
Right.
A lot of people have to be flown somewhere or taken places or not taken anywhere because they don't make it. It's very fortunate. Our whole situation is very fortunate.
I'm so grateful for everyone that was part of that for him.
Jessica was the one that said, again, that you really shouldn't be here. It's a miracle that you're here, that you're literally a walking miracle. I got to go back to work about a month and a half later after I finished my rehab. I brought cookies to all the nurses in the police department and the paramedics, the ER, the cath lab. They were all great. They were all messing with me just as much as I was messing with them. About 3 weeks after my heart attack, I'm talking with this coach, and he said, so tell me your story. I'd never met him before. And I said, blah, 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 heart attack, this, and I'm in rehab now. And he goes, the home inspector with a heart. I go, wow, that is really good. He goes, you can have it. I go, seriously? He said, yeah, it's yours. You can use it. And I said, okay, I will. I'm just a regular guy who's a nice guy, who has a heart, and would not be here if it wasn't for Riverside and the cath lab and the ER ladies and doctors and the nurses in my room. So they're the reason I'm here.